Hello artists of all ages, welcome to my studio. My name is Niki Collier and I'm here with Tanya.
Hello.
Tanya and myself are going to show you how to make felt pictures. And today I'm going to do a felt picture of the street that we live in. What are you going to do, Tanya?
I'm going to do an eco house.
An eco house. Oh, that sounds exciting. Felt is magic. It is a process in which you use wool fibers. You see this wool? It is not just the way it comes from the sheep. The wool fiber has been carded or combed and then it's been dyed. It's like the hair of a superstar. It starts as curly and then you can make it any color and you can straighten it. And that's what I like about this. So today we're going to be drawing with wool. I'm just going to share with you the few bits and pieces that we need in order to make this project. Okay, I always start with an A4 sheet of paper on which we're going to do our drawing. Then we would need some wool. Here I have about 30 centimeters of each color, or if you look at it, it is the long side of A4 sheet of paper. And you can choose any color you like, but I have kept it within the rainbow colors for this project, and they're about 6 or 7 colors. We don't need as much for the final project, but what we will do with this wool is we will make small samples to get our hands nice and good into making felt. And after that we would use those to cut shapes that will be our windows and our small houses. To make those samples you would need some bubble wrap and a watering can if you have one, and don't worry if you don't have one. Just take a milk bottle, pierce gently the lid on top, and that can be your watering can. You will need some soap. Here, let me show you. I have remnants of soap flakes that have been used in producing beautiful artisan soap here in Ireland. This is the donation from Dolky Soap. And you will need also your smiles. So whenever your smiles are ready, let's start making felt pictures. So I started by drawing just outlines of the street that we live in. I've drawn mine really simple and I've put it on the bottom of my project. You will need also a towel to soak up some of the water that will be excess from your project. And after that I will just put your bubble wrap with the bubbles up. So when you touch the bubble wrap, you will be able to touch the bubbles. This will be the background of my picture. I am going to make a Dublin cityscape. So I'm going to use nice blue for the top, and then I'm going to make some gray for the pavement. In order to make the wool felt nicely, you need to put it in opposite directions. So when I pull the wool, I am putting it first going from top to bottom, and then I'm going to use more fibers to put the wool going from left to right. So if you look, I'm just drawing with wool, and that's why I love making felt so much. It's as if you're drawing but instead of using your brush, you're using the wool to be your color and your shape. I'm going to put more at the bottom, and you can see how Tanya is also doing the top and the bottom in blue. So once I've put the wool going in one direction, I'm going to start putting it in the opposite direction.
If you need to pause anywhere, feel free to do so.
Yeah.
You've done felting a lot more than you might have, so you might need to take this at a slower pace and maybe even redo some of the steps if you feel like you've done something wrong.
And don't worry if it doesn't look as straight when you're laying the fibers as this, because this is not the most important part of your project. The most important part is to have fun. And if you want to put a little bit of green, I can put a little bit of bushes that are coming in front of the houses, and I will add more of those later. The first thing to do is put our houses up. So I'm just going to cut houses from felt that I already have. For this to work, it has to be handmade felt, or it has to be wool felt. So I'm just cutting from old bits and pieces that I have, and you can also use wool prefelts that are made, and these are some that I've done earlier. I'm just going to cut different colors so that our houses are nice and smiley, like the ones that we have on our street.
Make sure to make it very colorful.
Yeah, I think it's nice if it's more colorful, right? So I'm going to start cutting small squares in the houses for the doors, those famous Dublin doors that come in all colors. There we go.
Feel free to make your structure as complicated as you want. Just make sure you feel confident that you'll be able to do that. Don't be too ambitious.
And what you can do is you can just swap the material then, so that each house has different door. So I'm putting doors that I've cut from the purple onto the yellow, and the blue onto the gray. After you've laid all your fibers, you've drawn your picture with wool, we're going to make this something that is stuck together so that you can enjoy and you can put on your wall. So I'm going to put some hot water into my watering can. If it's too hot, you can always add a little bit of cold water, and the other most important ingredient, a little bit of soap. Then you shake it for the soap to dissolve, and slightly move away your bits and pieces that you've cut, so that you have space to work on your project. I've left some of the gardens with pavement, some of them are with bushes. So gently add the water with your watering can. You need to work with something that will spray the water rather than pour it, because otherwise your fibers will start moving. After that we cover it, we add a little bit more water on top, with soap. That is just so we can rub easily. If you don't put water on top, you won't be able to slide your hand. And this is our way of actually drawing the picture. So I'm just going to open because I've seen that some of my roofs are starting to move and we don't want to have a leaky house. So I'm just going to push them back to where they were and check on my doors. And after that I'm just going to cover it back and start rubbing it. And we have a song that we sing when we rub. Rub, rub, rub your felt gently down the mat. Merrily, 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 make sure it is flat. Rub, rub, rub your felt gently down the mat. Merrily, 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 make sure it is flat. And we will do this till we sing the song at least 5 times. In fact, I usually make sure that I've done that till I count to 30. At some point, you might want to open your project and gently pull the fibers towards the picture by rubbing with your hand like that.
Very gently.
Swooping in the fibers. Very gentle, don't press. So make sure it doesn't gather, but gently push it towards the center. It's a good way of washing your hands. I always say that felt is like a craft spa. You have the beautiful fabric that you're making. You have an amazing project that you had in your mind and it's coming to life. And you're also working with warm water and beautiful soap. And you will know that your project is starting to come together, as you will be able to see how the fibers of the small bits and pieces that you're catching have caught to it.
And also be a bit smaller maybe.
Yeah, it will get smaller. But the best way to get it smaller is to take it and roll it. So for that, we are going to cover it with bubble wrap again. And we will start working with rolling it. And we would roll it all the way to the top of our mat. And then we will start again from the bottom.
If you look carefully, you can see where Mum has done the drawings.
Yeah, no, it's really cool. It's cool, isn't it? And make sure that you roll it with 2 hands and you move your hands from the side to the middle. From the side to the middle. Okay, from the side to the middle. Once you've rolled it in this direction, then you open it up. If it's cold, you could add some hot water and you can see how it's shrunk unproportionally. It shrinks in the direction in which you roll your work. So what you can do is add a little bit of hot water with soap into your project just to keep it warm. If you feel that it has a lot of soap and water into it and there is no space for you to add more water, what you can do is just dab it with a dry towel to get some of the soap and the water out, and then add more hot water. There you go.
Make sure to ask an adult if you're not old enough to help you boil the water and get it done for you. Important. To whatever you're using.
And then I'm just going to start rolling it, but this time in the opposite direction. So from left to right of the houses rather than from top and down of the houses.
So,
Okay, and then you open it up, and if you look from the rolling in both directions,
it'll be a bit smaller.
it becomes equally shrunk on both sides.
I'm gonna turn mine over, see how it's doing.
Now, the last stage would be to roll it in a rolling pin. So, if you don't have a rolling pin, you can roll it directly onto itself, like that. And if you find that the bubble wrap is moving too much, you can roll it directly onto your towel. I'm going to roll it with the rolling pin. So those are the rolling pins that I've designed, and they're really useful for making really nice flat felt. And then you just slightly pull or push to form your nice fabric and to make those houses nice. So Tanya, did you like that?
Yes, I loved that.
I hope you enjoyed that. This is what I see from my window. Look through your windows. What do you see? Have a go at making it in felt, and then maybe send it to me. I would love to see your work.